Hey, all my fantasy football friends. This is Tony, Stosh on the Sleeper Wrap, coming at you from the Multiple First Dynasty Fantasy Football channel here on YouTube. Today we have an awesome video lined up for you. Today we will be breaking down a draft board from my good friend, Mr. Cole World. Cole finished the Elden Lord startup here. I think yesterday, or maybe earlier today, this draft wound down. And he followed our long-term draft strategy that I've showcased before, where you like to trade back, load up on young players, load up on future picks, and try to build a clear and definitive advantage over the lifetime of the league. So I think Cole did a really good job here, and I just wanted to showcase this and show you that this is totally possible. So my man Cole World is a second-year Dynasty player. This is him right here, Cole_World. He's not a super versed trader. He doesn't have a lot of years of experience, and you don't need it. I'm here to give you all the tools you need to get massive in your fantasy leagues, and more specifically, to get loaded on 2023 first round picks. So I just want to touch on that class a little bit. What you're looking at as that class comes out is, imagine the quarterback class from last year where we had 5 or 6 really high-end premium QB prospects. And then take the running back class that we saw 2 years ago with Taylor, Swift, Dobbins, Akers, Gibson. And imagine both those classes were being drafted at the same time. The quarterbacks from the one, the running backs from the other, smush them together into one rookie class. Now throw in Kyle Pitts, because there's a tight end coming out named Michael Mayer who's of that same caliber. And then also sprinkle in 4 or 5 receivers who any one of them would be the number one wide receiver in this year's 2022 class. And that's what you're looking at in 2023. It's shaping up where it might be the best fantasy class of all time, the best rookie class from a fantasy perspective of all time. Maybe I'm overselling it a little bit, but there's a lot of hype around it, and it's justifiably so. So what do we do with this information? We want to be getting absolutely stacked on 2023 first and second round picks. And what's the best way to do that? Well, the best way to do that is to jump in a new league right now, trade back a whole bunch, and pick up everyone's first round picks in your league. So this is what we're going to be looking at today. This is my man Cole World's team. It's going to say me at the top. I'm just in here as a co-owner because this is all Cole here. And he drafted this himself. I remember we talked a little bit about some picks here and there. He ran a couple of trades by me just to get the seal of approval, maybe 1 or 2 of them. But we're going to get into 8 total trades that he made. And we landed, at the end of the day, with 7 first round picks in 2023. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5 second round picks in 2023, so that's 11 right there. An extra 2024 first round pick, and in the kicker rookie format that's currently really popular on Sleeper, Cole walked away with 6 of the first round picks from this current year's class. I absolutely love the way he drafted this board. I love the moves he made, and we're going to start talking about them. So the team, as it broke down: Zach Wilson, very nice. Where did we pick him up at? The 602. That's a great spot for him. Anytime in the second half of the 5th round, Zach Wilson could go. Like, don't think he's gonna sit there for you if you want to wait on him. Wilson's moving up draft boards. He's a talented athlete. He's a quarterback who's going to hold his value, and the Jets are committed to building around him. Another thing I want to touch on is when I talk about these multiple 4, 5 quarterbacks entering the league in 2023, all could be first round picks in the real draft. All could be impact starters within their first year. That's going to displace a lot of these veterans that we see around the league. So to get a quarterback right now that is safe, presumably very safe entering 2023, like I think Zach Wilson is, and it's pretty much only guys who are on a mega extension or on a rookie deal who are that level of safety. I think that's going to be just so incredibly valuable entering next year's class, to have that security and not be afraid of being, having your guy be usurped by one of the elite incoming 2023 prospects. So this again, touched on the class, that strategy feeds into ours because typically when we run this route, we're fading running back entirely. Like you can see, he got Keyshawn Vaughn and Dante Foreman as his best two running backs. When we do this, we're fading RB. We like to get nice wide receivers, we like to get nice quarterbacks, but no RBs, and that plays into the following year, the 2023 RB class being so stacked. We can come right in and fill out our roster with premium rookie running back talent and jump right into championship contention. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So, this is the draft board we're working with right here. My man Cole World was picking in the 107 spot. As you can see, he did not take a player in the first 4 rounds. I do not recommend this. I think you want to sit and take at least one guy within the first 30 to 36. I mean, you can do this, it's fine. If you're getting good value for your trades, by all means, keep it flowing. And I think he was getting that good value. But typically, you're going to want to take at least one quarterback out of this upper echelon of QBs because, like I mentioned, you want some real security entering 23. You know, if I could have, he traded his 3.7 here. Lawrence went right ahead. You know, maybe he would not have traded this pick if Lawrence had made it to him. Maybe he could have stayed and taken Fields. I don't remember what this trade was, but we're going to get into him. The Elden Lords is a $20 buy-in league where the individual player is committed for 3 years. So you're paying $60 and you're paying your pot buy-in for the next 3 seasons of fantasy. So everyone in this league is locked in for 3 years before they even roll the draft order, and I think that's great. That gives you a lot of security when you're going for a long-term build because if you're doing a multi-year get huge on them build like this, you're always at risk of the league just getting nuked. I mean, it's scary for me and my teams that are loaded with firsts. I get worried that maybe one day just 8 or 9 guys in the league will all up and decide to vote to just nuke the league all at once. And that could happen. I mean, if you're so huge that you're just clearly head and shoulders better than everyone else and they don't want to keep playing with you, that can happen, and it's really scary, and it really bites. I've been playing fantasy for 4 years, Dynasty on Sleeper. I've only ever had one league nuked. It happened mid-season of that league's first year, but it did happen, and it was due to a very um, unstable, childish commissioner. Um, and so know who your commissions are. Most leagues you only want to have one, maybe 2 commissions, so there's not multiple people who could lose their mind. And try to play with your friends, guys. Try to play with people you know. When you jump into a league with 11 randoms, it's scary, and you're putting yourself at a lot of risk. But we still do it. But it is a risky thing to do. So let's get into some of these trades from my man Cole. Oh, this guy doesn't like my trade I sent him. But we're going to get into some of these deals that Cole World made. Very first trade, we traded off our 105. What was he? Yeah, we're the 107 spot. So I don't know why this is recording it as the 105. That's weird. I think it has to do with the way the rookie draft breaks out. So this is not the 105. This is actually the 107 Cole's trading away. And he's getting from Wally 1324 a 2023 first, a 2023 second, and a 2024 first round pick. So 2 future 1s and a future 2. Wally over here. 6 point, yeah, so it was the 6.3, not the 6.2. So the recordings are going to be a little janky here. So please bear with me. Um, this is an okay trade. This is, of the 8 we're going to look at, honestly, probably the one maybe I like the least or second least. Because when I'm moving off my first round pick in a startup, I want to get a third plus a vet plus a 23 first. I want to get that style of 3 for 1. I think it's really key to get an extra third round pick as we're running this strat because you want to try to get a snowball of trades going. And you want to be able to trade off a third and also make a third round pick while you're doing it. Um, yeah, so this is good value overall. Like if you were to punch this into a calculator, Cole's winning it by maybe 10, 15, 20% margin, something along those lines. Ooh, sorry about that. Some noisy stuff going on IRL. But Yeah, this move is okay. I mean, when you know you're going long, when you know you're just gonna try and get loaded on first the whole time, like you can make a move like this. I'm not gonna hate it, but this is not what I would be looking to do. We want to get that third, fifth, and future one, and if we have to make concessions on that, we'll concede the five a little lower. We'll maybe drop that fifth down to a seventh or something, but we really want to get a third. But his team turned out pretty fire, so I can't hate on it. And like I often say, you gotta break the ice. You gotta get that first trade in there so Wally can go up, and Wally can get another first. Well, he looks like he traded off his other one, but he can go up there and get a player. Usually pair it with his own first he already has, and then showcase to the rest of the league, hey guys, I'm the biggest. Hey, I'm the biggest now. If you want to get big like me, you have to trade off your futures, and that's how someone like Cole can continue to eat as the draft moves along. So this is fine. I don't know nothing about the 24 class, but this is like if you're drawing equivalencies, the 23 is basically a late fifth. The 24 is like I don't know a ninth, a tenth, straight up, probably about what you can get in a straight one for one swap, and then the second is like a 14th or a 13th. So like a five. So we talk about a five, a six, a nine, and a 14. Like that's fine as a four for one. That's fine. It's a little light, but it's okay. Next trade is a home run deal. So Cole sends off his 205 for the 412 and a 23 first to Biko. So is that the actual 412? No, it's not. It might have been. I don't know. The 412 and the 401 are both moved, but we'll just take it at face value that it is the 412. Yeah, this is an absolute smash trade from Cole's side. So again, he knows exactly what strategy he wants to run. He's not trying to be competitive. He's perfectly comfortable sliding back these couple rounds. And when you're inside the top 20, top 30 players, and you can drop down 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and get a first round pick for making that slide down, for getting that 2 for 1, that's awesome. This is a smash trade, and this is how we get huge. Biko, he's just selling his first, indicating to the league that, hey, I'm all in. I'm going for it. He's jumping up there to go get someone and try to make his team, better on the front end. So who did Biko go up there to get? He went up to get Javonte Williams, who fell. Or sorry, was it Jalen Waddle? It's probably Jalen Waddle here. It's a 205. So yeah, it's just so janky because Libre's not recorded it right. And this happens when drafts end and you go and look through the transactions. It's pretty aggravating. But we're just going to assume it was Javonte he went to go get. Or Waddle. We'll assume it's Waddle. But yeah, this was pre-Tyreek Hill trade. So probably hurts a little bit to see that as a Waddle owner. But he wants to go get an elite receiver to put on his team. And he's down to move his first round pick to go make that tier upgrade. And Cole's going to eat that up. Moving on. We see here a 2-for-2 swap where Cole gets a 23 first. So this is Cole receiving a 6th and a 9th, and he's sending his 3rd and his 10th. So what's going on here? Don't get confused by all this noise, guys. I'm going to break this trade down for you real easy. So Cole's sending away his 3rd, and he's dropping down 3 rounds into the 6th. Okay. He's getting a 23 first for taking that slide, and that's a home run. That is a home run part of that trade. He has also, because he is some kind of crazy good negotiator or something, managed to bake into this trade a swap of his 10th up to the 9th. So he's already doing something really good, sliding 3 rounds and picking up a first, and then he's getting swapped up in a later part of the draft on the back end of this trade. This is a home run. I don't even have to look at player names or nothing for you to see that this is awesome for Cole. We've now added we've completed 3 trades. We've added a 23 first round pick in every trade. So this is how we are at 4 of our 7. Moving on. Whoa. This is with ZZOOZZ. We're going to call him Zuz. I don't know what he wants to be called. But this is Cole making another move. He's getting a 3-for-1 with a first round pick. Love it. He's sending away his 4th. He's picking up his 6th. He's getting a 10th in the deal and a 23 first. So without this 10th in here at all, Cole doesn't have to get a 10th in any way, and this is a home run trade. Just to slide from your 4th to the 6th, I don't trust any of these numbers, so we're not going to put player names on any of these. But just no matter what pick this is in the round, this could be the 4-1 and the 6-12. It doesn't matter. If you're going from the fourth into the sixth, just 2.5 round slide, and you get a 23 first, that's incredible value. That is just smashing. Absolutely brilliant. And then he gets a 10th baked into it. Doesn't need that at all to complete the trade, but he gets it, so good for him. I don't recommend pursuing trades like this, which you're winning so hard. I wouldn't really get a trade like this from my side because I would probably just send this trade for the fourth in exchange for the six and the future one. You know, like unless Zeus said this, sent this out, and Cole smashed accept on it randomly without any negotiation behind it, you know, he usually wouldn't get this deal. If you put this in someone's inbox or you propose it to them in chat, they're going to tell you no most of the time. This is pretty obviously terrible for Z. And, I mean, we're going to eat that up on our side. There's no remorse in this game. There's no empathy in this game. We're trying to get big. And that's what we're doing here. We're going to move along. Coal World and the Yellow Mango. So we're trading off our fourth. We're sliding down into the seventh. 3-round slide. We're picking up a 23 first. There's also a 9th round exchange going on here. The way this reads is that Cole is trading down 10 slots within the 9th round. And that's kind of, I mean, we'll just assume that's true. And that's the tax to make this go through. So he's dropping 3.5 rounds from the 4th to the 7th and picking up the first. That's awesome. That's an absolute home run. If you can move your 4th and get above an 8th round pick and the 23 first, that's fantastic. Mango wanted this 10 selection swap up, this back of the 9th to the front of the 9th swap baked into the trade in order to make it worthwhile for his side. And yeah, Cole's going to smash that. He's going to be all about that. And he's going to jump up to, I think we're at 23 first round picks total count. We'll see what the next one is, how he got even more. But this is, again, a home run. I mean, just going down the list after 6 trades have been completed. The first one, I would call this like a single or a double. Not the best. Probably pretty even. This, home run. This, home run. This, grand slam, ALCS, put your team into the World Series kind of home run. This one right here was Z's. And this, home run. We're just killing it. We're Babe Ruth out here, just banging dingers out there. Next trade, Coal World. This one probably my least favorite, maybe my least favorite among all the moves he made. So this is Fantasy Warlord. On the opposite side, Cole sending his 7th away. We're getting a 3-for-1. We're going down from our 7th into the 9th, so we're taking a 2-round slide, and we're getting a 23 second round pick in order to make that slide. And we're also getting a 16th rounder. So the 16th is mostly negligible. In a kicker rookie like this, you're talking about, I mean, a third, a high third, maybe like the 212 rookie, something like that. There's no more starting quarterbacks on the board at this point. There's only, pretty far off injury away handcuff running backs, wide receiver 4s, deep tight end sleepers. There's really not a lot in the 16th round. What I like to mention about the 16th round is if you're doing a hometown run-of-the-mill 2 wide receiver, 1 quarterback, regular old PPR league, like in work or something, the most casual possible fantasy football league, the 16th round is the last round of that draft. So that's the kind of player you're looking at, is a last round type pick. So this is kind of negligible in the deal. And to slide down 2 rounds from the 7th to the 9th and get a 23 second is a bit of an undersell. I think the players in this range in the 7th round, and we'll start looking at them, are worthwhile to the point where to go down from the 7th to the 9th is such a slide that I wouldn't want to make that sacrifice for only a second. But at this point, Cole's committed to his strategy. So I don't blame him for wanting to grab another future. I mean, you can look. I mean, we're talking about Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, Aaron Jones, Tom Brady, A.J. Dillon, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashad Bateman. Like, these really good players. And then we'll jump down into the 9th. Cortland Sutton, Dawson Knox, Miles Sanders, Tony Pollard, Gabe Davis. Like, much more risky options. And this break of safety into risk occurs, like somewhere in the 8th, maybe in the early 9th in every draft. The sweet spot where you want to be pooling up picks if you're running this strategy is in the 6th 7th, and high 8th round. And you can see we made 4 6-round picks in this draft. That's exactly where Cole was targeting. From before Patrick Mahomes even came off the board in this draft, Cole knew exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to acquire 23 firsts. He wanted to acquire 24 firsts. He wanted to spam kicker for the most part as much as he can. He wanted to get very safe quarterbacks. He wanted to get wide receivers on their rookie deals, or at least had upside and youth. And he wanted to amass picks in the 6th and 7th round. That was his play right from the get-go, and he nailed his strategy. And this is what happens when you have that clear mindset. But this trade overall a little bit weaker. This is, I wouldn't even call this a base hit. This is not even. This is maybe a strikeout. not that bad, but not ideal like some of the other moves. Second to last move here from TBREL, Cole World, sliding down from his 9th to the 12th, and he's getting 23 first and second. So this is, again, ALCS Championship Grand Slam home run move right here. This is awful for TBR. This is probably a newer player. I'm not trying to call anybody out or talk any trash, but this is probably a newer player who doesn't know how to trade. And we're later in the draft in the 9th or 12th, and he's seen all these futures moving all around, and he's throwing up a Hail Mary, a last-ditch effort to go get as competitive as he can. So he sees some player he likes in the 9th, and he's trying to go get that guy. I mean, we'll even take a look at who it might be. It was Juju. Yeah, I think I remember when this happened. So this was right when Juju signed, and that's why TBR paid up to go get him. And that's the awkwardness of drafting in March. Is you're gonna have big shifts in the meta, like literally as you're drafting. Like Devontae Adams was traded while this board was developing, and someone took Cole took Derek Carr, like he was on the clock or like one pick off the clock as Devontae Adams' trade was announced. And then we all remember Juju was signed like the next day, and that's what you see here is someone traded up to go get Juju. They paid a lot to go get him. And I love Juju. I'm hoping to take him, in like the 7th or 8th round of a startup right now. I think the 8th round we're in, but yeah, this is pretty bad for TBR. Interesting note here is TBR is trading away a first that isn't his own. So Cole's getting Spooky Shark here, his first round pick. Spooky might be one of the stronger teams or looking that way. So TBR just wants to unload that because he doesn't think the pick's going to be very good. A lot of times people are more inclined to let go of a future one that isn't their own because they're not so attached to it. If that person decides to tank, that's not their own pick, so it doesn't matter. They're not tanking for their own sake. This is just a lottery ticket that TBR is holding, and he's giving it to Cole. So absolute home run deal for Cole here. Just speaks to how if you're willing to lose in year one, you can just be so absurdly strong. And then the final deal here is a 2-for-2 swap. This is no futures involved. This is just a repositioning. This is Cole trading up from his 12th into the 10th, and then he's getting his 17th dropped into the 20th. And this is just a reposition move where he's trying to go get a targeted ad. I think it was Michael Gallup. That's what it looks like, or it was Christian Kirk, one of these 10ths, again, because we can't trust the numbers in the trade. But yeah, not a whole lot to talk about on the pick side. And we just covered all the trades, but the actual selections he made throughout the draft. Zach Wilson and Jerry Jeudy in the early 6th. I love this. I love these spots for these guys. I think these are great values. Jeudy is a bit of becoming a plant the flag player for me for the season. I keep picking him up more and more in my startups, and I just took him at the 5.10 of a startup that's still drafting right now, and I don't feel bad about that at all. I took him ahead of Godwin. I took him ahead of McLaurin. I took him ahead of Travis Kelce. Judy's the man. I expect him to break out. If we have to call our shots in this game, this is a player I'm willing to call my shot on, to put my reputation on, as Jerry Jeudy. I've always really loved this talent. I think Russell Wilson's going to unlock every bit of this guy's potential, and I think he absolutely deserves to be drafted right next to the McLaurins, the Devonta Smiths, the guys who probably have done a little more on the field, because Jeudy hasn't really had that production level yet. But Yeah, I expect Judy. I expect big things from Judy this season. I expect over 1,000 yards from him. I expect over 100 catches. This should be coming. But yeah, slam kicker the whole way down. We don't have any like super elite premium kicker picks as we get back into looking at the team. Um, we have the 4, 5, 8, 9, 11, 12. Love that. This is a rookie draft associated with it. Boop boop, boop boop, boop boop. A little weaker in the second round. Maybe had some opportunities to take some second round rooks, but we're all good. We're honestly probably going to run into a point where you're going to have roster clog problems because you're going to be so full on picks, especially after you make all of your selections in the 2023 area. Looks like I'm on the clock in my live draft. Someone took Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to make a pick live on the video on the air. So this is the draft I mentioned before. This is my draft where I took Jerry Jeudy in the 5th. Russ, Stafford, I think those are good values in these players. Deontay. I made one move out. I traded away my 1.5 to get these two picks, this pick and a 23 first from SLG, and then I traded my 605 away for the 12.2 and a 23 first. So this is a productive struggle team that I'm working on. I'd like to be pretty competitive this year, and I'd also like to be holding the 323 first, like I am. But I already know who I'm going with this pick, and that is Juju Smith-Schuster. Let me go ahead and take him. I expect good things from Juju, and I'm building my team the same way Cole did for the most part. Safety at quarterback, get good rookies, get talented, talented young wide receivers, and that's what we want. The scariest thing with Deontay is we'll see what happens with his contract. He's gonna want a mega extension. The Steelers are not going to be inclined to give it to him. I don't know what to expect with that. But boy, these targets for Deontay Johnson are just crazy. I went to the University of Toledo. Just throwing that out there for a couple years. Yeah, back to Cole World's draft. Yeah, we slammed kicker the whole way down. Trubisky in the 13th, very nice. I think yeah, he had just signed right around this time too. Some bad picks jump out at me. I mean, I can't just be raining compliments the whole time. I don't like this Keyshawn Vaughn here. This is a little early. Probably could have waited on him a little bit. These are second round kickers going in this area, so maybe would have taken one of those instead. Yeah, I love this Dante Foreman here. We took some tight end darts. I like Trey McKitty, but I would have liked some better tight end darts. Like getting Mo Alley Cox would have been sweet. He's going to start for the Colts, I think. Ricky Seals-Jones is going to start for the Giants, I think. Um, there were starting tight ends available. I really like OJ Howard down here. If you're drafting right now, you should be targeting OJ Howard in your sub 20th round. I think he could just outplay Dawson Knox and be the Bills starting tight end at some point, maybe even entering the season. But I've always believed in the talent for this guy. We got some shots here. This guy could start for the Commanders. John Bates, Cameron Brate could be the starting tight end for the Bucks if Gronkowski decides to call it quits, because he has not decided to come back yet. It's interesting. Cole took my advice and picked up a dude who I think could be a breakout wide receiver from this area of the draft, which is pretty rare. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Really like him. He's featured in the thumbnail of the video. I mean, just the size. Tannehill's trust him. And the Titans are almost certainly going to add a receiver, but there's a chance they don't. They traded for Robert Woods, and I think they like this guy. And maybe they bring in another vet to play a depth role, and maybe they don't draft a receiver. That's possible. I think they will if I had to bet my money on it, but who knows? This guy's got enough upside though. He's worth a shot down here in the later rounds. This is my draft. Get out of that. But we're gonna look at the Dynasty ranker, and we're gonna see Cole World's overall value relative to his league mates after all the moves we made. So you're looking at 140,000 points of KTC points versus 100K or less for every other team in the league. I mean, it's a 40% advantage he has on his opponents. This is just obscene to really be this strong. He's got so much going on in rookies that he might not even finish with the 101 next year. He's probably going to have to make it a point to tank. I do not advocate any sort of forced tanking. You should absolutely be starting a roster full of active players every week. If you're starting quarterbacks, they should be the projected starters for their team. You don't start hurt guys. You don't leave empty roster spots. You don't do that when you're doing this strategy. You're still going to put a competitive roster out there to the best ability of your roster. You're probably going to win one or two games along the way because it's fantasy football and it's crazy. But when you're this big, when you have 140,000 points like this, you could decide I'm just going to start trading off these 23 picks and buying up talent and going for a title this year. And that's super, super risky. That's a very, very aggressive thing to do. That's a very, you know, I don't know. It's just not recommended. It's a very involved thing to do. Like, you have to be firing off trades in your league a lot. You have to be really sorting through it. If you're someone who's in 10, 15 plus leagues, that's pretty challenging to pull off that strategy. It's also involving a lot of calling your shots because you're trying to make targeted acquisitions. A lot of teams in your league aren't going to be willing to sell their players for 23 picks um, because they want to win a title too. So, if Cole really wanted to, he could put it, you know, he could take it out of park and put it into first, second, third, fourth gear and try to go, steal up players using his 23s as leverage. I don't recommend that. In my opinion, when you're this big and you're this big on futures and young dudes, time is firmly on your side. You have time just in your back pocket. And when that's the case, you just let the clock tick. I think you just lose. Just lose year one. Super stress free losing. All good. Don't have to worry about your roster that much. Just kind of losing, messing through the waiver wire. No stress at all. Because you know that eventually you're the best. Eventually you are the biggest team in this league. And there's virtually nothing anyone else can do about it. Because the only time you can really amass this kind of pool of picks is during the startup. That's the only way you can do it. I mean, you could turn around and start selling off your roster, and you could sell off every player you drafted and try to get picks from other people. But like, the startup is the best time to acquire 23 first. If you want to be acquiring them, this is the strategy to do it. You're going to be losing in the first year. You're going to get some guys who are going to retain value and have them join forces with your rookies, with your second year guys, and then with your 23 rooks. And yeah, I expect Cole to be a championship contender next year with this team, and I don't think he has to make a single trade again to get there. Very good work, Mr. Cole. Um, that's a 32-minute video. I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed with me the whole time, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, become a first-round pick, hit the subscribe button. Multiple first channel. I need multiple first-round picks out there. Sub to me, please, guys. Um, yeah, hit me up on Sleeper, and we're going to be looking to do a live rookie mock, me and Greg, where we're gonna need 10 good friends in here to do a 3 or 4 round rookie mock. We're gonna have a like a Mel Kiper mock or someone else who did like a 4 or 5 round mock draft alongside that, so we could do it with landing spots baked in. So that's something I'd like to pound out in the next week or so. Probably make a few of them throughout the month of April, but I'm looking for guys who have time to sit at their computer for an hour and do a 1 minute or 2 minute timer 4 round rookie mock with landing spots. And I don't want any auto picks. So if you're someone who has that chutzpah, then please hit me up. But give me some feedback, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm making a lot of videos. I'm starting to make thumbnails. I'm gonna start working in graphics. I love doing this. I love making these videos for you guys. And just let me know what you think of them, man. Let me know what I can do better. Let me know what you want to see. Thank you so much. God bless you out there. Have a wonderful evening, friends.